Here we go.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 4 cornerstones of life coaching success. We are really fired up right now because we have been hearing from so many new and aspiring coaches who are struggling to move forward, feeling completely stuck with the dream, the calling of being a life coach. And right now in our world, it is more important than ever that those of us who have compassion in our hearts, care, desire to make our world brighter, are mobilized into action, are inspired, are ignited, are ready to move forward. So by the end of this masterclass, our intention is that you are going to know exactly what has been holding you back and exactly what you need in order to move forward. Okay, so how does that sound? So that you have amazing momentum, not just in your coaching business, but in your energy, in your life, in your confidence, so that you get to do this work and flourish financially, energetically, every area of your life. Okay, because really being a life coach is connected directly to ourselves and our lives. We would love to know who's here, so feel free to share in the comments, in the chat. And we will be looking at your comments here. But first, this masterclass is for you if you are already a coach and you're finding that you don't have everything you need and you really want to figure out what it is you need to confidently coach your clients and have a flourishing business, so that you'll also be learning how to attract clients to you, because many of you wrote in, I can't figure out like how to attract clients. Like I have this incredible gift, but I don't know how to attract clients to me. So if you're a new coach, we're going to be helping you with that. And if you're an aspiring coach, right now you're just dreaming of becoming a coach, you're also in the right place, because we're going to teach you and show you exactly what you need in order to get your coaching business off the ground, in order to move forward powerfully.
How does that sound? So we've discovered that a lot of you come to us new, so we want to introduce ourselves as well, so you get a little bit of background into us and what our background is that even qualifies us to be in front of you and sharing all of this good stuff that we're sharing today. So I want to give you a little background about Veronica and then myself and then the two of us. So if you've heard this before, just bear with us. This is just some of the stuff that just gives us a little bit of the credibility, so you know where we come from.
Yeah, for those of you who have never met us before, this is for you, basically.
This is for you,
and to those of you we've been traveling with for years, thanks for your patience.
This is for you too, because you may not have known some of these pieces. So I'm just going to read it so I'm clear and precise, and then we can move on into the juiciness of the next pieces. Yeah. So Veronica is a transformational coach, trainer, and the author of The Diamond Process. It's a globally loved transformational book and coaching system. Veronica has over 21,000 subscribers on her YouTube channel, and it's growing strong with over 2 million plus views. She often is referred to as the coach of masterful coaches. I can attest to that. And then Jason, that's me. I apprenticed with top masters of meditation, 16 years with a preceptor, actually an enlightened master who carries 2 lineages from India, and a master of shamanism for 10 years in the Altamasiac lineage of the Andes of Peru. I've mentored with CEOs of 9-figure businesses, owners of professional sports teams, Rhodes Scholars, famous actors and directors, and taught at 2 of the retreat and yoga centers of the world, 2 of the top ones.
That's actually how I met him many years ago.
That's right. So that's,
you may not have known that, so there.
Oh, so there's a new little piece that we add in no matter what. Also together, we're the founders of the Diamond Process Coach Training Program, certification program, and have taught hundreds and hundreds of master classes, workshops, retreats, and coach trainings online and in person all over the world.
Yes.
So
today, with all that mouthful, with all of this said, today in this specific masterclass, we're going to be sharing with you the 5 coach brilliance blocks that keep talented coaches in the struggle. And some of these are very sneaky, and you might have a massive aha today of like, whoa, I didn't even realize that's what was holding me back. The second thing we're going to be showing you is an instant momentum secret. And we literally mean instant, like during this master class, an instant momentum secret to get you confident and unstuck.
Mm.
Okay. And the
All
third
right.
thing that we're showing you is what you absolutely need to thrive as a life coach and to make sure that your clients get results in every session, no matter what. All right. So before we get into the nuts and bolts of today's, masterclass, we do want to share with you these 5 Coach Brilliance blocks, because we want to make sure that you're mobilized, that anywhere that you may be kind of stuck or lacking momentum, this awareness alone of seeing which one is you, if any of these, or which ones you're dealing with, will immediately start to create some freedom from whatever has been holding you back.
And this isn't just what we're coming up with out of our heads. This is literally what coaches are sharing with us,
For
or people
years
who
and years.
want to be coaches.
Exactly. I mean, we've been collecting data for years, and there are more than these 5 we're sharing with you today. However, these 5 are the most pronounced, are the most common. So are you ready? Okay.
Her famous cards are coming out.
Famous cards. Okay. 5 Coach Brilliance blocks. Okay. So the 5 Coach Brilliance blocks, we want you to just write in the chat as we share these, or at least in your notebook, which of these is running in your life so that you can free yourself from it. Okay. And also, because once you shine the light on it, the very thing you're struggling with right now, the very thing that's backing you up, is actually where your quantum leap is. So it's in disguise. What we mean by this is when something's in a blind spot for you, and you're kind of stuck and you don't know why, and then you identify it. If you can use that and really see it, you'll be able to turn that into your greatest growth opportunity, and it'll actually propel you forward personally and professionally. So
it's really truly your credibility. So that whatever you break through is then what you're coaching others through.
Yeah,
they'll be attracted to you because of that.
And you're probably like, my credibility, but we're going to get into that in a moment. Okay. So the first Coach Brilliance block. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
And discover out of these 5, which one is you, or ones are you. Imposter syndrome. So we cannot tell you how often we meet talented, incredible people who are ready to coach, or they want to coach, but they don't feel like they're qualified. They say things like, who am I to do this? I still have this I hear all the time. I still have problems in my life. Who am I to coach? I still have things that I'm dealing with. I can't coach.
Or what I'm coaching with, I just fell off of that pedestal and I'm in the muck right with them. It's like this constant thing of like, this belief that you have to be perfect in order to be a coach.
Yeah. Bzz. And we're going to actually share with you how to unhook from that after all 5.
Okay, good.
So this one, I'm going to be really honest with you. This is going to keep you stuck forever if this is you. If you don't see it right now or at some point in your life, and free yourself from the lie. Because the lie says that you have to be perfect. You have to have everything together, or you shouldn't be struggling anymore with a particular thing in order to coach. And if you don't see it as a lie, it is going to hold you back forever, because we have coaches who come to us who have 3 certifications from other places, and they're still stuck in this. And so
we're just going to we're going to move on, but you get the idea. You want to really address this, because what we're addressing is the fear that's behind here. There's a scared little one in all of us who always wants to run for the hills, who wants to stay safe. And it'll use these excuses to stay hidden. Okay. Yes. And in order to be a masterful coach and successful coach, you've got to shine bright and you got to show yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the second, and by the way, feel free to share in the chat box here on Zoom where it is that you're struggling. So if it is imposter syndrome, we'd love to know who's going through this. That. Yeah.
All right. So number 2 is the not enough hole. Okay. And why we say this is a hole, because it's a black hole. No matter how you look at it, when you're in the mindset of not enough, there's never enough that you can receive that's going to take you out of the not enoughness. So there's this belief of, I don't have the skills, I'm not good enough, I can't charge I can't charge what I'm charging. Am I? That's my value. If I believe I don't have value, or I'm not worthy, or my self worth is low, then it's really hard to charge for our sessions. It's really hard to claim ourselves as a coach because we're still believing we're not as good as even our clients or anybody else.
Mm.
We're in this comparison syndrome of, yeah, they're always better. Or a lot of times we'll hear this when people are considering our coach training is, I know this works. I just don't know if it'll work for me,
Mm.
because there's this belief somehow in our mindset that with me, it won't work. I'm flawed in a certain way that nobody else is.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to bust through this. This is a big one that is like a shackle on our ankle. Okay.
Yeah. And if this one isn't resolved, it's like charge, because they're very talented coaches who we know who are having trouble charging because of this. So it's really an important one. And if this is something you're struggling with, write it down, because the more clear you are in your own notebook for yourself, well, first of all, the more we can help you if you share in the chat, but also you'll have the awareness and you'll be able to move forward with it, given what we're sharing with you today. Okay, the third coach brilliance block. Whew. The disease, and it is a disease, it's way stronger than the coronavirus. The disease of self-doubt. The disease of self-doubt. So many life coaches are saying, but what makes me special? There's so many coaches out there. I like, how are people going to find me? Or what will my family and my friends think if I claim my role as a coach when they know who I used to be? Or what if I fail, or I can't do it? I'm not capable. And this one will show up really sneakily. You want to know how this one shows up, the disease of self-doubt? Sometimes it will show up by a flurry of things going on in the outer world that have to be tended to. I have to help this person. My mom's going through this. My family's going through that. My kids are struggling with that. Oh my God, I have to move houses. I have to, 1,000 things on the outside, which is oftentimes a very sneaky way that the self-doubt can perpetuate situations that seem like fires outside of us that we have to put out, and we never get to our coaching business, because what's happening is we never actually want to face the real problem, which is the self-doubt. And that's some deep and beautiful work, which we'll be getting to in a moment. The fourth brilliance block is...
So this is called analysis paralysis. So have you ever been in this place where you're at a crossroad, you want to make a decision, and there's A and there's B, and analysis paralysis will put in a C, a D, an E, an F, a G, an H, an I, all the way to Z. Okay. So we're afraid. We get in this place of, we're in the mind, we're in the head, and we're trying to make a decision that's so important to us from the head. And the head, it's not about, we don't want to cut off our heads. We need our heads, but we don't want to make our whole decision based on our head, based on analyzing. Analyzing is very black and white. We want to, and I'll say this many times, we want to take the elevator from the head down into the heart. And this is where we make our big decisions. There's actually a book called Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. I think that's his name, right? And he goes through this entire book talking about the difference between the simple decisions and the big decisions. The big decisions are actually meant to be made with intuition, with this immediacy, like an absolute. You drop into the heart, you know, when you make the decision, you'll be much happier that way. It's the little things like what blender you're going to buy, you want to actually investigate, literally. So analysis paralysis is going to keep you from making those big decisions. It's going to keep you up here, and the magic happens here.
And great question, by the way. What's the difference between not enough and the imposter syndrome? They are very, I would honestly say that all 5 of these have the same root. So they are going to kind of mimic each other in a way. They're similar. There's just subtle differences. It's like that self-doubt can put on the mask of, oh, I feel like a fraud. I feel like I'm an imposter. I feel like I don't have, you know, I'm struggling. It's very specific flavor of, I'm struggling right now. Who am I to coach with the thing I'm helping clients struggling, with? So it's that specific flavor of, I can't coach until I finally resolve myself and perfect myself. So the 5th brilliance block. And think about the brilliance block as an eclipse. It's almost like you're this bright, powerful being in this world, here to deliver the gifts that you were born. We would argue you were born to deliver specific gifts that are inside of you. Okay. So they're your gift, they're innate, like everything's supporting you to give the gift. And these brilliance blocks are like an eclipse that can block that light and hold you back, right? So the fifth one is the visibility jitters. Yeah, the visibility jitters. Okay. This one I'm fired up about a lot, because here's the honest truth. If you decide to, when you decide, if you've already decided to be a coach, especially online, you are simultaneously deciding, I'm going to be visible. I'm going to make videos. I'm going to be seen, because that's how your clients can find you. And one of the things that, one of the blocks, the brilliance blocks, is like, you know, the knees shaking, the jitters, the sweats, the whole thing at the thought of people seeing you.
And you'll do anything to get out of it. So as soon as, like, even just, it may be an alarm down the street, you're going to go look at that fire down the street so you can get away from getting on video.
Exactly. Anything. It might be a fire in the next state over. You'll drive to that state.
Can I get a hand raise on that?
Yeah. So, so many share this struggle. It's really common. If you're going through this, just know it is so common, and there are very simple ways to break through this. And actually today we're going to be sharing with you a very simple pivot to help you with this. But first, it's like, know that if you are dreading this, it's important to know that you can feel as comfortable on video as you feel when you are with someone you love. Okay, we're going to share exactly how to do that. So just know that it's normal to have those fears, and are you ready to free yourself from these blocks? So we would love to know in the comments, out of these 5 brilliance blocks, which one or which ones of these are you struggling with? Imposter syndrome, not enough whole, like feeling like you're in a hole of I'm never going to be enough for this. The disease of self-doubt, analysis paralysis, and the visibility jitters. Oh my goodness.
It's funny. I see the not enough hole, and it's really we're identifying with the whole rather than the wholeness.
Oh, yeah, that's so true. Okay, 5. So visibility jitters,
Okay.
all. Okay, 2, 3, and 4. 1 and 3, all. 1, 2, 3, and 5. Awesome. 1, 4, and 5. Self-doubt.
Okay, great.
Okay,
so here's a little secret.
Self-doubt, all of them. Yeah.
If you have all of them, congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's actually remarkable, because everything that you're facing, every challenge that you're facing, first you got to know, number one, it's okay. You're human. We all have these things. We're on this plane of existence. We're here in this body to work this stuff out. So first of all, you're acknowledging it, you're aware of it, and you're acknowledging it. So that's half of the battle right there.
Mm-hmm.
How many people are still out there denying it? No, this isn't me. No, it's you. I'm pointing at you, right? So you're already halfway there, over halfway, because you've taken the big steps.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay. We all have our stuff. You want to just take a breath into that. It's okay.
And let's actually take a breath right now. So just what we've been shining the light on, take a deep breath and exhaling it out, really taking in what Jason is saying right now, which is this awareness, this ownership of what has been holding you back actually frees you from it owning you. Okay. So just taking a breath, knowing that there's some clearing happening right now, just through your awareness alone, shining that light alone.
And just know that so once you're at that step, it's actually linking you to the greatest thing that can happen in your life, is the transformation. So you and I and Veronica, all of us have had these amazing transformations, these things in our lives. And if you haven't yet, you're going to have these big ones pop, because you're here, you're committed to this work. When these big things pop, these things that seem like they'll never change, how in the world will they ever change? It feels like it's an albatross that will never leave. There are breakthroughs, and it can happen where all of a sudden that thing is gone. It's gone from the sense of owning you. It no longer owns you. And when that happens, you have the breakthrough. It still comes in, it creeps in, but you now have the power to not let it take over. Yeah. And when that happens, that transformation, that becomes your degree as a life coach. You use all of this. This is the goodness. You can't read this from a book. You've got to live it.
Yes.
And so every time you have these transformations, it becomes the exact stuff. We've said this already today, the exact stuff you're going to help your clients through. This gives you the Harvard master's degree, literally. When you're doing it, like I have personally, after college, I haven't studied in schools. I've studied with the masters that schools were programmed after, because they're coming right from the source. So, and they're not doing this in schools. They're actually doing this from their embodiment inside. So, but what I do is, what we both do is we sit with those, so we can, those people, those beings who can help us transform all of that inside. So that becomes our mastery. And that's what we want to move to, is living from that mastery. So you become the roadmap for your clients. You become the one holding the light, that flashlight through the tunnel of darkness for your clients.
Yeah.
That's who you become through doing your inner work.
Yeah. And you can only take your clients as far as you've been. So the more you're facing this stuff, the better, because you'll know exactly how to navigate a client when they're going through it. And more importantly, you will have the compassion. You have the compassion to serve them. So do you want to know the one momentum secret for all 5, actually for any brilliance block? Do you want to know how to actually use these to create incredible, and we do mean instant, momentum?
Yes.
Okay. So when any of these things come up, the self-doubt, the fear, all of the limitations in the mind, do you know that most people think that that's a sign to stop? And actually what it means is you are on path with your purpose, and you are about to go way outside, or even a little bit outside of your comfort zone. The self-doubt, the fear creeps in to ensure that you step back, hold on. You don't want to come out of that little box. Like you gotta come back into what you're familiar with. And so it's like, if you're waiting for a day for the fear and the doubt to stop, it doesn't. I've been doing this for 15 years. I get nervous. My hands were shaking before this masterclass.
It doesn't stop?
No. And so if you're waiting for the fear and the doubt to stop before you mobilize and move forward and give your gift in this world, you will be waiting forever. So what is the momentum secret? What is the instant momentum secret? The instant momentum secret is that when fear or doubt or anything like that comes up, it is not a light, a red light saying stop. We want you to actually see it this way. It is a big, blazing, green light saying move forward, drive forward. Well, I'd say first breathe and drive forward powerfully now, because you're onto something, because you are in cahoots with your soul right now, because you're moving into your dream right now, because you're on path right now. If the fear and the doubt wasn't coming up, I'd be like, interesting. Is this your path? Because if we are walking a path that's already been handed to us or paved, it's likely not ours. It's one that we inherited. And inside of each of us, we have a unique signature and a unique gift to give. So again, the fear and the doubt is not a sign to stop or wait. Stop waiting, please. It's crystal clear feedback that you are right on track. Green light means go. I want you to write down, when fear and doubt kicks in, green light means go.
Yes.
I literally want you to draw a green light and post it up and says, fear equals breathe and drive forward now. Okay. Like literally shift this in the network of your brain.
Literally it is a shift, because it's like the program we come in with is, I touch into something that's uncomfortable. I don't want to go there. So I run the other way, or I hide, I duck, I stop. And that's going to stop you in your tracks with everything that you're doing. And this is actually a guarantee. You're going to run into fear. You're going to run into doubt. You're going to run into obstacles. And that is the sign to keep going. That is every person of success. What Amy Schumer, we get a kick out of her. And she says, yeah, they say my overnight success is, it just was an overnight success. She goes, for 10 years,
Yeah.
I was doing this, beating through all of the obstacles for 10 years to have an overnight success.
What's the name of the really famous actress? It's escaping me. Bridges of Madison County, the most famous, most talented actress.
Most talented actress. Not, I always say Glenn Close, but it's not Glenn Close. It's the other
Meryl
one.
Streep.
Meryl Streep.
Gotcha. Thank you. So Meryl Streep, this always blows my mind. Before getting on stage, she would throw up. She felt so nervous that she would this is Meryl Streep, you guys. So imagine if Meryl Streep took the fear and the doubt as a sign to wait. I'm not ready yet.
I'm not going to go out there and win my Oscar.
I'm going to wait.
I'm going to wait for that Oscar. I'm going to wait for that 5th Oscar or that 6th Oscar.
I'm going to wait till the self-doubt and the fear goes away so that I can prove that I'm enough, that I'm not an imposter, that I am, and then I'll do it. Imagine what she would rob us from. Do you know how many tears and healings I've had from just watching her movies? Your version of Meryl Streep. You have something inside of you that there is a group of people waiting for, and they can only get it through you. And the reason for that is because you have a unique life story. You've picked yourself up from certain things that were challenging, and people will be able to relate to you, your story, your frequency, and the way you deliver your gifts. It's
amazing. So bottom line, you want to stop making this about you and get out there and give your gifts.
Yeah, if you're doing that,
and if you, wherever you are. So if we make it about us, I mean, I've got trapped in this so many times with that nerves is we're wondering what they're thinking about us. If we're gonna do okay, if we're make it about them. So why you become a coach, or you're going to become a coach, is because you want to make it about your clients. You want to help them. So make it about them. Drop it about you. You can address that in your own inner work, but when you're with the client, it's about them and show up for them, and you can do that.
Yeah, we're loving seeing your comments, by the way. Yeah, I mean, so you're hitting on something. So you know how I promised you guys a video, like a trick in video marketing that will give you instant confidence? It is literally, Jason was like, when we were building out this masterclass, so many people are struggling with the video thing. Like, what tool, what new tool can we give them? And I literally went inward, and I'm like, it's not the tools, it's the same thing. It's always the same thing. And how many are actually doing this? Every time we turn on the camera, we do this. And we did it for this masterclass. We do it every single time, whether we're live or recording something. So in order to have confidence on video, to go quickly from, fear and doubt into confidence and magnetism on camera, it is so crucial, like Jason is saying, first of all, to stop making it about you. And that's what most people are doing. What are they going to think? How do I look? What's going to happen? Oh my God, am I going to say the right thing? And instead, think of one person, not a group, one person you really care about, and you know that what you have can help that one person. It can be a family member. It doesn't have to be a client. It could be anybody. It could be the person you saw in the supermarket who is, struggling with something. Anything. Turn on the camera, picture them, take a deep breath, and instead of making it about you, focus on them and speak directly to them. By the way, this is very helpful with writing email copy as well. Just speak to one person. So, the confidence trick is think of that one person who really needs what you're offering. Look into the camera lens and speak to her or him. So really what this is doing, it's pivoting your focus out of me, and it's focusing on them. Now, your mind already know this. If you've known me for a while, you've heard me say this to you. Are you doing this? Are you actually implementing this? So before we turned on the masterclass, I said, or even when we were designing it, who are we talking to? It's not what group of people are we talking to, who? Oh yeah, she's going through that.
She's
oh
right
my
in the
God.
Juiciness of this. She's perfect.
And you don't even know who it is, but we are talking to you right now, even though now, we see all of you in here, and it's great because we get to connect with you as well. It's going to help you so much to get the ego out of the way and get the powerful soul, the heart that you are in the driver's seat of your life, and give massive value to that one person. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think we have a question here. So
I do have
a
a question.
what's the question?
How many of you are afraid to make videos? Like, you want to make videos or need to make videos, but you're afraid. If you're afraid to make videos, go, I feel, videos scare me in the comments or
Yeah.
something like that, just so we
This is
know.
one of Veronica's passion points. So to really break through that fear of being seen and really step out there, if you're having that, confess it so it's up and out, so you don't have to keep hiding that and holding that back.
Yeah. And by the way, really simple, when you have the camera, make sure you look like right into the lens and picture that person's eye, like literally speaks directly
Right
to them. Yeah. Okay.
So we know if you're here, you have the gifts. You have the gifts to share. You have the heart that wants to pour out and give it to so many. And these blocks that are in the way, these brilliance blocks, this analysis paralysis or the imposter syndrome or whatever the story is going on in the head that's keeping you from doing that, it's not just keeping you from doing it, it's also keeping you from making the difference that you're here to make.
Yes.
We need you in the world making the difference. Haven't you looked around and listened to the media? They're lost. That we need more of you out there, the light bringers, the light bearers, sharing their gifts and speaking it out. You, just because somebody else is saying it doesn't mean that you can't be saying it, that you can't be sharing it in your own way. You have so much value. And what we've noticed is we call them the four cornerstones to coaching success, because they're the four cornerstones that are guaranteed that you'll need in order to be successful really in your life and as a coach. And so when you're missing one, it's your house, your foundation is unstable. So we want to share the four cornerstones today, because if you're a little light in one of these, you're going to want to up level your skills or up level your abilities in that area or those areas, because we want you to thrive. We need you out there.
Absolutely. And by the way, Lisa, I'm not super afraid. I currently have so little time. Well, maybe a little afraid. So not having enough time is often a sign of fearing intimacy. Meaning like getting intimate with life, with getting intimate, like really going into the things that require depth and connection. I don't know if this is you, but it can show up in video as well. Like you said, I might be a little afraid because being on video is intimate. Like you guys, you're seen, right? Like you're actually being seen by people. That's an intimate experience. So yeah. Oh God. There's just such goodness. For those of you like Risa saying, yes, that's good motivation to not let fear get in my way. I can't imagine how much we all would have lost if you had let it hold you back. You guys are an inspiration. And it's the same with every single one of you watching. Exactly. Here's one little quick analogy. Imagine you're walking through a mall and there's a little kid who has just run up into the stage in the middle of a mall. It's an empty stage, and he's playing and he runs and he scrapes his knee because he falls and his whole knee is bleeding. And you have an emergency kit inside. Like you literally in your handbag, you have an emergency kit with Neosporin or some natural version of that and Band-Aids and all the things that you need. But you're like, oh no, I have to climb that stage to help that baby or help that child. He's bleeding, but I don't want anyone to look at me.
What are they going to think?
You know what? Other people probably have the kit. Yeah, I'm sure there are other
Their
people.
kit's probably better.
Or some, they have something to help this kid.
I probably should just keep it back here because I don't want anybody to think that I know what I'm doing.
And then the kid is screaming, crying alone on the stage, and and maybe someone else goes to help with like a dirty rag, and you have exactly what the kid needs. That's what some of us are doing by not using the green light and just driving forward. And by the way, accountability is really important with that, but that's another story.
So we're sharing the four cornerstones because we've been doing this we've been doing this together for, not together, just together, but together combined over 30 plus years. Yeah. So this is what we've discovered is the absolutes. These four cornerstones are it.
The four cornerstones. So the reason we're sharing these with you is because it's going to help you put blinders on to anything else. So just knowing if you master these four things and you focus on these four areas in your coaching business, you will thrive as a coach if you commit to deepening in all four of these areas. And any of the bright, shiny object syndromes that are like, you need this and you have to do that, you can sort of cut through the noise And this comes from our own experience because there was one of these that we were definitely missing, which we'll share with you. And once we got that one, it 4 times our coaching business income wise, and also just reliability. Instead of the feast or famine that was happening, it really stabilized our coaching business. So the first cornerstone, like Jason was saying, think of these as the cornerstones on a house. If you pull one, like we had 3 down packed, but we were missing one and the house kept falling.
Yeah.
So a cornerstone, if you remove that out of a building, the building structure is vulnerable. It likely will fall.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same with our coaching business. So identify which of these 4 you need or you're missing, if any. Okay. So the first cornerstone is, which we've already talked a lot about, self-mastery. Self-mastery. Self-mastery is the foundation of masterful coaching. Okay, people want to know how to be great coaches, not just mediocre. It's an inside job. You can only take your clients as far as you've been. It's really important to remember that. So when you're struggling, it's not life saying you're not good enough to be a coach. It's life saying you're ready to take your skills to the next level. The only way you're going to master this is by going through it yourself. So if you're currently going through something, it's likely, yes, for your growth, and it's helping you to, it's qualifying you for those you're going to be working with. That helps me a lot when I'm going through something to remember, okay, whew, if I can get through this, I can help someone get through this. And that always inspires me. So you want to become a life coach, likely because you've been through things in your life. You've struggled, you've suffered probably, and you got through. And you probably, and let us know if this is true for you, want to help others so that you can help them eliminate the suffering that you went through and kind of show them a path that's going to relieve them ahead of time of the struggles. So write in the comments if that's true for you. Have you broken through at least one thing that's specific, that you feel compassion and you would love to help other people through the same thing? Yeah, true. I love how Galaxy 8, I don't know your name, but I have the kit.
Nice analogy.
Nice
Yes.
analogy. Yes. Okay, Kimberly, yes. Matthew, yes. All right. So again, this is your self-mastery. So your transformations are your number one qualifier. And it's really great that you know this because now you can it'll help you clarify your niche as well. Okay, so we're seeing a lot of yeses. I sure have. Some of you are like, one thing I've broken through, dark night of the soul, countless, several times, a lot of
breakups, divorces, all of these things, financial upheaval, all of these things are opportunities of breakthrough. Mm-hmm. So there's certainly many things you've broken through that you can help others with.
Yes.
And then that becomes, you become an example of that, right? You become an example, as we've been talking about, an example of that for your clients. So that's why what we do in our coach training program is we focus on self-mastery first, because we know you can only take your clients as far as you've been confidently, right? Mm. So you can kind of say, well, I haven't been there yet, but it's over there. But if you've done it, you're like, these are the steps. These are the steps I know to actually breaking through and making that happen. Mm-hmm. So you become your best teacher. One of our main guides, Shankaracharya, he'll say, we have plenty of teachers out there. There's so many spiritual teachers out there that you couldn't fit them in all of California,
in a galaxy,
right? And the whole, but how many are actually being the teaching? So you want to, he'd say, forget about being the teacher. That's all ego. Be the teaching, live it. So we want to live what we're guiding, what we're supporting. So self-mastery is the centerpiece of that. And that's a foundation that you're always going to be working on. You're never going to be done with it. So just know that self-mastery is the key, and you keep working on this.
Okay? It's evolution. It's never ending, which is actually beautiful, because it's like we're an eternal spring, ever blossoming into new and greater versions of ourselves.
And the truth is, yes, if you're a non-dualist saying, yeah, but we're the perfect self, that is absolutely true. And there's no work to be done on the perfect self. That's absolutely true. And what about the clouds in the way? What about the like I just cleaned it off today, the bird poop on the car? Yeah, you're not the bird poop, but you still have to clean the poop off the car.
Right.
Yeah. So,
and that's a deeper masterclass. We're not going to get into that right now, but the diamond self, the true self, the whole self that's unbreakable, that's a whole nother class. And that's part of in our training with life coaches, that's the foundation of really awakening into presence, because without that, how are we going to actually create genuine transformation in our lives? Because there's a never ending road to fixing, and it's not fixing, but healing, growing, evolving. So it's really important. That's another masterclass, though, to awaken to the truth and to deepen in presence.
And this question coming in, Galaxy 8, of how do you know if you've transformed enough, is really a good question. If you've broken through something enough where before the breakthrough, you had no control over it, like literally, like I had a big thing with competition and then I became a yoga teacher, and all of a sudden at some point in my teaching, I was noticing a lot of teachers competitive with me, and then it activated my competition. So I was competing in my mind all the time against my peers, my other yoga teachers. How many people are in my class, and how many are in their class, and like, how am I going to be the best, and all of this stuff. And it took constant work, but at some point there was a breakthrough. I actually watched a movie, and it happened at the end of a movie, of all things. The breakthrough happened. What happened on that other side was, it's not that the competitive urge didn't come up, it's that I wasn't being run by it anymore. I could say, I feel you, I know you're here, but the reality is it's okay. However your class goes, however their class goes, it's okay. You remember, you're okay no matter where you're at. You can actually catch before it grabs a hold and you get lost.
And if you don't catch it, because I want to say we know specific people who are, let's say, people who help with eating disorders, or food, coach people through sugar addiction or things like that. And oh my God, but I went and ate all this sugar. I shouldn't be coaching people on this. Use that.
Yes.
Be honest, authentic, share that in your marketing. I just fell and I slipped, and here I am coaching people on this thing, and I ate a bag of whatever last night. And that I would check in, and that I use those moments to actually get even more clear on how I get through that mindset wise. 80% is mindset. How did I shift my mindset to come back into peace, into calm, and to care for my body, love for my body? So it's not about being perfect. Eliminate that right now. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It is about being committed to authenticity, breaking through, and sharing what works.
And then you may start at 10%. Before you were at 0, you were owned by it every time. But now on the other side, you're 10% of the time you're winning. You're already in the place of transformation. So you can actually begin to teach that, because you're having the experience of, I'm not getting caught all the time. I'm still getting caught, but I'm not getting caught all the time. Yeah. And then you just keep building on that.
Yeah. So long as you are honest about that, and not like, I'm perfect all the time. I'm
Which
never
then
nervous.
Creates the illusion out there that they have to be perfect. Yes. And then we create the same problem. Right?
Yeah. So a great example of this, one of our Diamond Process coaches, Harley, she once struggled when her kids were really small through alcohol challenges, some level of alcohol addiction, and she cut through that, like had a massive breakthrough and was done. And now she's working with moms who are stressed out, who are overwhelmed, and some of them drinking heavily or just every day, to find their sense of self again and reconnect with themselves and parent from a place of peace and well-being. So that actually qualified her to coach this specific niche. And a lot of this we're sharing with you to give you ideas, because many of you have questions on niche.
And so then that addiction, which didn't seem like a gift when she was going through it, now has become one of her greatest gifts.
Yes. Pretty amazing.
Yes,
she's amazing. You're amazing. Oh, we know like who's here, and you guys are amazing. So we're not going to go much further into that, but the second cornerstone is to masterful coaching, really to being a successful coach, is basically transformational coaching skills. So, if you've had a coach training or a few coach trainings, a lot of people come to us who have had a few coach trainings, they're still not confident. So what all of us have had some degree of training in coaching skills, or if you're new and you're looking ahead to becoming a coach, obviously make sure that you have solid coaching skills, ideally transformational coaching skills. So it's not just working on the behavioral level, it's actually going into the root of what's happening so that it can be transformed. Coaching sequences, But what we want to give you today, we're not going to get into a whole thing about transformational coaching skills, is how can you guarantee that you give your clients results in every session? So this is something that we call the coaching session net. You can think of it as your session structure net, which really is.
Here's number one. Oh,
well, I would just write down. Yeah. So if you're like, I want to make sure that I never fall in a session, like I'm not aimless or get stuck, because we've gotten this feedback a lot from many people, which is, what if I had no idea what to do in the middle of a session? If you have this net written down, and you at least apply these in a sessions, you'll be good.
It's literally a guarantee. Yeah.
So the first, we briefly spoke about it, is presence. So your session structure net is presence. Basically, that means deep listening, not thinking about saying something brilliant, but really seeing your client. And again, not making it about ourselves and making it about the client, focusing fully on the client. The second part of the session structure net.
I like it. I want to do this one. So intention setting. So this is so dear to my heart, because when you're not clear on intention, you go in circles.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you are clear on your intention in the session, which is dropping from the mind, it being about you, and dropping it down into the heart and making it about them and serving them, then you're clear on your intention. Then it's so easy to support your client in their intention. What is it that you want in the session? If you could have anything in this 60 minutes or 90 minutes, whatever your times are in session, what would it be?
So that question is very simple, but it's really important to ask your client. If you could have, anything, what do you want? Basically, what is your intention? This is the target. If you don't know the target, then when you feel like you're aimless in a session or derailed, or they're going off on a tangent, if you don't have the target, you won't be able to bring them back to anything. So it's so important. Now, this is a super tip we're going to give you right now that's so crucial. Oftentimes a client will say, I just want to, get a relationship. I just want a relationship. And that's great. You can help them with that. Absolutely. You can hold their hand, like hold them accountable as they go on a dating site, or things that are very tangible and practical. However, I would ask, as part of the intention, if you have this right now, if you already had the thing that you want and you came to me for,
this is key.
This is key, you guys, as far as intention setting within the net, within a powerful coaching session. If you already had it, you already achieved that, or you got the thing, what do you feel in your body right now, having it already? If you imagine it as already done. I feel just at home. I feel peace. I feel like I can breathe.
Relax.
God, I feel relaxed. I feel safe or free, or whatever it is, whatever word they use, that is the goal of the session. That's the goal of your work together, because if you can get them to that feeling state, it will be much easier for them to attract what they're calling in. If they're in a different panic and all these things, and they want their relationship, it's never going to match. And it's just going to be a lot of action that doesn't get a result. We really want, it's all an inside job. So you want to guide them into focusing and prioritizing their frequency or that feeling state.
Because if you don't do that, then they're going to get into that relationship, and then they're going to be coming to you in the relationship about how I want to get out of the relationship.
Because the relationship didn't solve the problem.
It's not going to solve the problem, okay?
Okay, so the third part
we're number 4.
Well, no, we're still in the session structure net. So the next, so presence, intention setting, and then you want to make sure that you support them in obstacle clearing. So what is in the way of them feeling that right now? Okay, so that we can't get into a whole masterclass on this right now, but definitely have skills that help them unearth whatever is blocking them so that they can break through. A lot of that is mindset skill.
And then number 4 is action steps. So no matter where you are in the session when you complete, you want your client to apply what they've learned, or what they gleaned, or what they transformed in there. So you want to give them, for lack of better words, homework, action steps, calendaring something So they literally are moving forward. They're taking action on what they've unearthed. Okay. So
Yeah.
if they're only doing it in the session and they're not doing it outside of the session, it's going to be a slow road to transformation.
Mhm.
You want to get them in the habit of applying it in their lives.
So just to recap, the session structure net is just make sure in every session presence, so you're deeply listening. Intention setting, second thing, but remember what we said about intention setting, getting deep, going deeper with it. The third is obstacle clearing, and the four is action step. Have just not 1,000 steps, one solid step that gets them aligned with their vision, with their target. So what's going to help them feel that feeling? What's going to help them take action in the direction of that relationship, for example? So we hope that this serves you. This is obviously the tip of the iceberg, but we wanted to make sure that you get something that's solid that you can hold on to in sessions with clients. Now, as a new coach, you'll definitely want to make sure that you have solid coaching skills, coaching sequences. However, with this said, the only reason we feel this is impossible or this is essential is so that you feel safe to have skills to bring to your clients. It's really important, especially when you're new. But what we believe, is
So I guess I'll. Did you? I'm
yeah.
sorry, I
Please,
interrupted.
no,
Yeah.
please do.
So
This is so important.
this is the tip of the iceberg. This is where you begin your coaching.
Yeah.
So there's a key that coaches are missing. So there's one key that most of us are missing. And oh, you have a Cardi. Wow, she even knew the key. She knew that there was a key coming up. Okay, so there's a key that coaches are missing, and it's so we have so many coaches coming to us and saying, I know all of these sequences, I know all of these practices, but I don't have the confidence in delivering them. So we want to develop that practice and develop your ability to master those sequences. But that's going to lead you to this place of a deeper trust in yourself, a deeper trust in your ability. You have everything you need. That's why we speak of presence being the first thing that you do in a session. You come there and you're present with the person. There's no agenda. There's nothing to get. There's nothing to give. You're literally here in the bounty and the beauty and the magic of presence with the person. And when's the last time somebody actually sat in presence with you with no agenda? Okay, so when you start to
ask that again.
when's the last time somebody just sat with you in presence with no agenda?
Without trying to fix you, change you, get
Give
you
you
to a different
something-
result,
right.
just really seeing you.
Just fully
Like, take this in for a moment. Like, feel the value of this. Someone genuinely seeing you, hearing you, and accepting you exactly as you are right now. Imagine the power of that.
So that, as one physician has shared, he's that because of all of the stuff with the virus going on, he was speaking of. He's been in the room literally with 3 different people who flatlined, who died, and then they came back. Okay, and when they came back, there was one thing in common with all 3 of the people who came back. One of them, I'll tell you this too. One of them said, "Why did you bring me back?" Okay, and you'll understand why in this next what they all 3 said. One was a pastor, one was a child, and one was just one was just somebody who had a normal job, normal living, and they all said there was absolute, complete acceptance. There was complete acceptance, and if you really feel into that, like presence is complete acceptance of the moment, of everything in that moment, of the person. There's nothing to fix, there's nothing to change. And when you come from that place, then what happens is what's needed springs from within you. What's needed, whatever the person needs in order for that, just that gentle nudge, that gentle reminder, it springs from within because you're connected, you see them, and it just will spontaneously come out. Where do you think all of the sequences came from?
Or yoga. Like, if you think of yoga, where do you think all the asanas came from? All the postures? Someone didn't say, "Oh, that was a good idea," anatomically speaking. It was out of the kundalini, or just the shakti, the energy from that deep meditative state. Their bodies, the yogis, they started moving in these postures, which started clearing out toxins and ama from the body, which basically then they jotted down. And that came from masters thousands of years ago that we still use today because it didn't come out of a book. And so your coaching, your true power as a coach is not going to come out of any certification. Now, the certification is essential.
It's a framework.
A framework, because you're going to learn to trust yourself in, as long as you're in the right coach training program, but because you're going to have a net where you feel safe, so that you can trust what innately comes through you, and you can trust presence and acceptance and deep listening.
And then you'll be creating your own sequences.
Yes.
And then you'll be teaching those sequences. You'll be supporting your clients. Try this.
Mm-hmm.
And from that mastery, what happens is we think we need to deliver this perfect session, but why do you think your clients are actually coming to you? They're coming to you not for the sequence. They're coming to you because of you.
Yeah.
They connect with you. They're coming because of you. And so you've got to show up as you.
Yeah.
And the true you is presence. And then when you're coming from that, what is meant to come forward will come forward.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you want to get in the mastery of your coaching.
Yeah. Oh God. I mean, we can go so deep with this, but just target as a coach, how can I relax enough to trust my own intuition, my gut, my own guidance, and rely on the coaching sequences as skills as a net, but really start to trust into myself, because that's really why they're coming to me, that deeper truth within you. Okay. So number 3, so the third cornerstone to coaching success is, remember, all 4 of these are essential. It's like you need all 4 to thrive as a coach, like we were saying earlier. If one falls away, the whole house can fall down, as we experienced personally. Okay, so confidence training. So often we have many coaches who have had certifications, but they're still lacking the confidence. And this really comes down to one thing. And let us know in the chat, have you had a coach training? If so, type yes. Have had, coach training, yes. And what is your confidence level, even with that coach training, from a 1 to a 10, 10 being amazingly like I am a superstar, and 1 being I don't have trust in myself or confidence
in my abilities.
Yeah. So what is the key to confidence? The key to confidence is practice. Okay. Just like anything else you've ever done. But it's not just practice, like riding a bike or driving a car. It was very awkward in the beginning. And oh my God, what if I run into something? And then you kept practicing. And eventually it's like part of you. The same with coaching, exact same thing. So practice with guidance. And this is what's really crucial. When you are just starting out as a new coach or in training, it is really important to have a mentor, someone you trust, actually there with you when you're doing practice sessions, not necessarily in the session, although that we do that in our coach training with our students. But even more so importantly, when you're working with clients outside of your coach training and you hit up against a block and you end the session and you're like, oh my God, what did I do? Like you feel your energy deflated. This wasn't very good. I didn't do, you know what? I'm just not meant to be a coach. This is what happens to people. I'm not good at this. I'm not meant to, I can't do this. I'm done. And then they're not conscious of that unconscious dialogue. And then they just, I don't have time. I don't have time for coaching sessions. I don't have time. However, if you have a mentor or a coach who's there with you and you share, I don't know, something felt off, and then they guide you, what felt off? When did it? Oh, I know when it was. When they said this, I said that, and it just went flat and we didn't know where to go and I freaked out. Those moments when we fall are literally our golden opportunities for massive confidence booster, because when we fall and get back up again and again and again, what happens is we start to trust ourselves and our ability to get up in hard times, and we never ever fear being in a session and falling and collapsing and not moving forward. So confidel, confidence, the root confidel, with fidelity, with loyalty. Self-confidence is with loyalty to ourselves. And the way to really make sure in a coach training that you're served is you have someone who can help you see the blind spots and help you break through.
And if you haven't noticed, this is another marriage. It's emerging. It's moving from the head down into the heart. You're taking the elevator down, and it's married here. You learn it here. You marry it here. And when it's married here, it becomes part of you. And then you can naturally, coaching is just, there's no more thinking about it. It's just part of you.
Yes.
And it's just like you riding a bike. So think about when you learned how to ride a bike. You saw the bike and you're like, there's no way anybody's meant to move on that thing. It's going to fall. Look, it's fallen over already. So you need a guide. You get a guide to support you, show you the ways of how to pedal the bike, how to stay up. You have training wheels, etc. That's the training wheels of sequences. And then you take the training wheels off. And because of practice and support and guidance, and the training wheels are now off, you're able to actually ride it without training wheels. And then you just keep practicing. And then you're able to go without hands. You're able to do anything you can with the bike as you practice more and more, because the bike has become part of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The coaching's become part of you. That's what practice does for you.
Yeah. So we're seeing an 8. That's fantastic.
Yes.
8, 5, 3 or 4, and then
Okay.
change my wording and way to deal with what was expecting.
Mhm.
Okay, great. So there are ways to navigate that. Just remember, this sentence, really is powerful. Falling and getting back up again and again is what fortifies self-confidence. The sure path to collapsing a coaching business is to fall in a coaching session where it didn't go very well, or even on a video, whatever it is that you put out into the world and you were brave, and then staying down. So it's really, how can I get back up? How can I learn from this experience and move forward? And having somebody there to support you is really, really important. I tried to do it alone for 10 or 12 years, and that was a mess. All right.
So the 4th cornerstone.
So this is the one that we were missing. And no matter how powerful we were with these first 3, we had those locked in. This 4th one just kept.
It was a very shaky
wobbly
house.
ride.
Yeah. And we call them simplified business skills.
So the 4th cornerstone to coaching success is simplified business skills. Yeah.
So we know if you're anything like us, then if you're like us at all, then you're likely a creative, you're a coach. So you're a giver, you want to give and support. And that's where your joy is. You literally, if you could do that all day, if you could just give and do your coaching and not have to worry about any of the business, would that be heaven? So for me, for us, it really, like, there's no problem. We could do these classes every day. We could be giving and coaching every day, but we didn't want to have to do the business. If you didn't have to do the marketing, the enrollment, the accounting, wouldn't that be great? Well, guess what?
Here's the reality. When you decided to become a life coach, you simultaneously decided to become a CEO, to become an entrepreneur. Like, they literally came in. I didn't know this when I 15 years ago decided. Right? I thought I was going to love people and give to them and help them and share and make our world better. What I didn't realize is that I was simultaneously choosing, I'm a life coach. So I chose to put on the life coach hat. I'm a life coach. I'm going to spread the love. Woohoo. But what I didn't realize is that I was simultaneously choosing the CEO hat, and I was in no way a CEO. I was in no way CEO. I didn't even know how to balance my checkbook. So how in the world did I go, like, how do you wear both hats masterfully so that you are thriving financially, not just making everyone else feel better, but you are also stable in your life, in your financial world, in your empowerment, in your confidence. So there are a few things that are going to be really crucial in order to know when you are moving forward with your coaching business. The things to make sure are, you know how this one thing changed everything for us. Make sure in your coach training or wherever you learn this, to master the enrollment conversation. This is not coaching. Coaching is one thing. A coaching session, sequences, coaching skills is literally one hat. That is one hat.
And it's an important hat.
It's such an important hat.
It's such an important hat. Don't talk, Jason. I've got something to share.
This part really fires me up. No one ever told me that there was a sequence I needed to learn called mastering the enrollment conversation, and that it had nothing to do with being a coach. It had to do with being a businesswoman. This could make me cry, you guys, because I feel like so many talented people out there are withholding their gifts because they don't have the business training. They don't have the skills to enroll a client. So anyway, enrollment conversation, crucial. Second is time management. Really important to know what you're doing each day, how to delegate, what you're managing, what you're actually focusing on, and cutting out the noise. Bright, shiny object syndrome, done. Focus on what is actually going to bring business and help you stabilize your financial reality. Third thing is growing your audience. Really important as part of simplified business skills is to know how to attract your ideal audience to you. And the fourth thing is to master promotion, magnetic marketing, so you know how to promote and market your services, your products. I'm so sorry for cutting you off, but
No, that it
this
was good.
part, it was, I'm going to be really frank with you right now. I almost quit my dream too many times because I didn't have this cornerstone, and it was so hard. It was such an uphill climb for me. It was really, really difficult. And for some of you, this part's easy, but one of these other cornerstones is hard. It might be the self mastery. You may not want to look at your stuff, or it might be, God, I'm lacking confidence. I don't have enough practice, or I don't have a mentor or a coach guiding me through those hard moments. Or maybe it's, the coaching skills, your skills or sequences are lacking, or something like that. Whatever it is for you, let me be proof that even if it seems impossible for you, I promise you that you can master it, even if it's totally out of your, wheelhouse, so to speak, to be one of these things. You can master it, because I'm the furthest person in the world who could master this part. And we're thriving. We love our business. Most importantly, we're at peace as we do our business, as we move in and share our gifts. Even in times like this, coaches are really necessary right now. A lot of people don't have job security. Being a coach is one of the greatest ways to create job security, because people need, I mean, we're finding people are needing our services more than ever before. So that thing that you're here to give, it's a prime time to give it. So which of these four cornerstones are you lacking? Is it self-mastery? Is it transformational coaching skills? Is it confidence training? Or is it simplified business skills? You don't need all these complicated business skills. Just, are you masterful at the enrollment conversation? Are you great with time management? Are you promoting and marketing
And
well?
I want to give you a little window in this. We speak of it as simplified business skills. So there is an easier way to do it, and you don't have to do it like everybody else out there is doing it.
Yes.
You don't have to make it all about you. You don't have to make it about kind of like these kind of little tricks of marketing, or the little tricks of selling. We so encourage you to have a come from that's authenticity. So you can authentically market your stuff. You can authentically enroll, where your stand is really about them, not about you getting something from them. If you come in from this place as generous, like your true come from in your work is generosity, you're going to naturally attract people to you. You're going to give from this place of generosity. You're going to give from a place of authenticity. You're going to share, look, I'm marketing, but I'm doing it in a way that is authentic to me. I'm sharing the insides and outs, the stuff that's not so great or fun to share, but I'm going to be authentic about it and really let you know. Like, we're sharing about the business stuff. A lot of people aren't talking about the business stuff because they want to put that to the side, because it's not the easiest thing for most coaches. We want to bring it out and be authentic. Look, you need your business skills. You need to do it in a way, find a way that's really aligned for you, so you can deliver and do your business like you do your coaching. You can actually do your business like you do your coaching.
Yeah, in that same heart space. And well, I'll answer your questions, because a lot of you are basically saying, what's the last simplified business skill? What's the third? So I'll answer that. But keep in mind, oh God, there's just a lot. So the first business skill is the enrollment conversation. The second business skill, so there are a lot of other business skills. These, as a coach specifically, are really important. This is what I was going to say. Niche is also crucial, because yes, being generous, but really being laser with who you're talking to, so that people have it. The solution is so clear for a specific market that it makes it irresistible to work with you. So that's a whole other training, really how to clarify your niche or the person you work with. Okay, so the four simplified, just to review, simplified business skills are: number one, mastering the enrollment conversation. So that's when you are enrolling a client into your services, which is it's not a coaching session. That's another story, but you don't want to, okay. It's a very unique sequence in a very unique way. It's a business CEO skill. It's not a coaching skill. The second is time management. Time management. The third is growing your audience, growing your ideal audience, your resonant audience. And the fourth is magnetic promotion and marketing. What magnetic promotion and marketing means, it's like, how do you attract people to your products and services? So that, right, when I'm making a video, that's promotion. Even though I'm being wildly generous and offering something of value, people walk away with a gift for free, the video I share. And then some of those people are like, oh my God, she trains coaches, or she does this, or they have a membership program. Oh my God, I would love to grow with them. I would love to learn how to do business from the soul. So that's a form of promotion. Marketing a certain product, that's a very specific thing, to know how to market that product, how to communicate in very clear language, compelling language, what the value of that product is. So that's like a whole masterclass in and of itself, but those are the fourth cornerstone is the simplified business skills.
So just to give you an example, why these four cornerstones are paramount. It's all four of them. It's not just the business skills, and it's not just the self-mastery. It's not just the coaching skills or the confidence training. It's literally all four together. Not too long ago, just a few days ago, we had a finance coach reach out to us. And I said, so why are you reaching out to us? She goes, well, I'm already a finance coach. I'm helping people with their money. I'm helping them create portfolios. I'm helping them with their retirement packages, buying, selling homes, etc. But what I'm realizing is that almost all of them, if not all of them, their problem isn't that they don't know that stuff. Yes, I'm helping them with that. But what they really need is their mindset. They need to address their mindset, their belief systems. Mm-hmm. And that's what's causing all of the blocks and the problems in their finances, in their retirement, everything that they're facing. I can't really help them unless I can support them with their mindset issues. Yeah. So I'm looking for a coach training that supports people in addressing their mindset. But she also recognizes she needs to look at her own mindset so she knows how to do that.
Self-mastery is the foundation of masterful coaching.
So she came to the right place. This is exactly what we do. And this is why it's paramount not just to have one or two of the skills. You want to have all four. So the skills become you. You're one with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So good, you guys. And that goes for relationship coaches, any kind of coach. It's not just about a lot of coaches fail because they're working on a behavioral level, or they're just like, okay, let's change your behavior. Eat this, do that. And the client's like, okay, I'm going to do that. You're holding me accountable. And then as soon as the client like package ends, or a month in, they're eating the same thing, or they're struggling in their relationship again. It's got to be deeper work. Mm-hmm. Transformational coaching skills, not just coaching skills. All right, you guys. So we're wrapping up here. First thing we want you to remember at the end of this here, from everything we've shared, if you could share in the comments, what is one nugget? Oh, and that's interesting. Simplified business skills, enrollment conversation, and growing my audience. Okay. So a lot of you, it's really the business skills that's been the challenge. So one thing we want you to remember, and if you could just write in the chat box, what is one thing you've taken from today's masterclass that you can implement that really felt like an aha for you, and something that is of value to you, because writing it in the chat will help others as well. And we want you to remember one really important thing. When self-doubt kicks in, when fear kicks in, it is not a sign to stop. It is a green light, go.
She's got it. Fear means go.
Oh, I love that.
That's it.
Fear, Sarisa, you put it so succinctly. Fear means go. Powerful. Fear means go. Take Risa's words. That's even better. Picture a green light. Fear means.
And you got to go.
You got to go. Just don't do that while you're driving.
Please don't do it while you're driving. Wait until it's actually green. Yeah, that might bring other fear into me that I'll have to go with.
Yes. Yeah.
So all of this just kind of actually reminds me, if you're open to it, I'd love to share a little bit of a story. As I shared in the beginning, one of my mentors is an Ultima Sayak. He's the highest shaman in all of Peru. There's only 4 or 5 of them. And one of the things he would say to me again and again for about the first 5 years of my mentorship is he'd say, Jason, no dudar, no dudar. Do not doubt, do not doubt. And most of the time I just take it in. Yes, keep going, keep going, keep going. But one of these times I was in the middle of initiation. And a typical initiation in the Andes of Peru is they throw you into a glacier lake. They beat you with some eucalyptus leaves and twigs and are really doing this whole cleansing, and they cover you with incense and smoke, and they're doing all this calling in of spirits, and it's intense, it's powerful, you're freezing, but at the same time you're invigorated. All of this stuff, amazing stuff has happened. They're calling in these amazing spirits, and then they pull you out of the glacier lake, and they cover you with all their ponchos. They shove a huge thing of incense underneath, and you're breathing in all of this smoke. And I'm like, I'm so intense. And part of my ego is like, yeah, you're doing it. It's so great, Jason. And then he whispers in my ear, Jason, do not doubt. No, do not. No. And all of a sudden I went from thinking I'm so great to, I'm so pissed. What are you saying? I doubt. I am not doubting. I'm confident. I was so angry, like somehow it hit something inside of me. So for the next day of unwinding out of that initiation and then going back into the city, then back to the Lima airport, I was so angry. Like, how dare he say I doubt? And it happened to be on that trip, I had a buddy ticket on Delta, so I was flying standby. And I go up to the ticket counter and they say, well, you're going to have to wait 2 hours. I go, oh, you don't have a seat, because they didn't have a seat for 2 days for me on the way in. And she goes, no, we have a seat, but do you have baggage? And I said, yeah, I have a bag. But she said, do you have baggage? Which was kind of a sign as well. And I said, yeah, I have a bag. She said, well, you're going to have to wait 2 hours and we'll see. We might be overweight. And so I'm sitting right in front of the line and I'm waiting. And I would say 5 minutes in, but it really is probably 5 seconds in, I started making all of these backdoor plans. If I don't get on that plane, I'm going to run over, check my bag, call my friends in Lima, have them come pick it up. I'm trying to find every way I'm going to get on that flight, because I needed to get on that flight. But what I was also doing at the same time, I'm trying to figure a way, which were back doors, not trusting that I'm going to get on that flight. I'm also going, okay, so how do I get on this flight? What if I don't get on this flight? Where am I going to go? When's the next flight I can get on? And all of this. And then I hear Adolfo in my head, Jason, no dudar, do not doubt. And I just start laughing and crying and go, how? He's right again. Here I am. I've been doubting this whole time. I've been resisting this fear inside of me. And I'm willing to face it. So in that moment, I go, yes, I'm going to focus on, I'm getting on that flight. Everything's fine. And if I don't, for whatever reason, I'll face that then. But right now I'm focused on getting on. Right at that point, a whole flock, I mean, I don't know, it's like 50 Japanese tourists come with 2 big luggages bigger than them. And they're all walking into my line. And I'm going, oh God, okay, I'm sure going to fall now. And I'm absolutely sure that I'm not going to get on, but I catch that down. I say, Jason, you're on this. Focus on being on that flight. 2 hours in, I go back up there and she goes, oh, Mr. Fromm, I have your ticket for you. It's for first class. So I get on that flight. I'm on first class. And it was just a sign, Jason, drop the fear, drop the baggage, trust in what you're doing, go for it. And if you fall, you address it then. Don't start making all the plans to save you from the fall 2 hours before. So I'm just inviting you to really look at those fears as an opportunity to strive, to thrive. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it.
Yes. So powerful. And the truth is that I often say there are 2 types of people. And like we were saying, now's not the time to wait. Now's the time to drive forward. That is so powerful. No back doors. Focus on your vision. Know exactly what you're aiming for. And if it doesn't work, you deal with that then, right? But you put all your energy into that one thing. Because there are 2 types of people. There are the waiters and there are the creators. And when I say waiters, I don't mean like someone who works in a restaurant. There are those people who literally wait till next year, or wait till like life stops being dramatic, or wait till no one needs anything outside to focus on your mission or your vision. And those people, the waiters, they dream the dream, they wait on the dream, they dream it, they keep dreaming it, but they let life take over. They let doubt take over. They let fear take over. And then there are the creators. And the creators also dream just like the waiters do. and they take action. And when things don't go well and they fall, they take more action. And then when things don't work, they learn, they grow, they take more action. They're creating, they're moving forward. Doubt comes in, green light, go, and they keep going. And so it's really important to know, I've been in the waiting game myself in the past. And the way to bridge from the waiter to the creator is to literally take this divine appointment that we are here with you in and answer the question, how can I move into heart-centered action right now? Do the thing that's outside of my comfort zone. Take action that's actually going to push my vision forward. And one way to do that, if you are really clear that you would love an Adolfo in your life, for example, we do have a gift for you, which I'm going to let you share, and I'll throw it in the chat box.
So it's what I had with Adolfo. He was just like that little nudge to my ego, like just to move past that mindset or the ego that was keeping me trapped or keeping me from really being the master or the creator that you are. And in that, like, there was so much value in that moment of having Adolfo in my ear. So if you need that support, if you need that Adolfo in your ear to just help you to remember that you really are that powerful one, that creator, that master, we're here to give that to you. We're here to give you. We've set a few sessions aside, or really what they're called is creator breakthrough calls. We've set a few of these.
Coach. They're specifically if you're a coach, so or if you want to become a coach breakthrough calls.
So these breakthrough calls are for you. So if you want to coach breakthrough calls, so you can really step in and get the momentum you need to really have the confidence and to up level your coaching business, then all you have to do is just click the link below and you can set up one of those calls. So we have a few set aside just for you, and we'll be there to help you. Now, if you happen to be one of those who are viewing this on our page on a replay, all you have to do is just scroll down a little bit, just a few inches, click that link, and then we're going to help you become the masterful coach you intuitively know you